Hi everyone, thank you for joining in. I'm Tanya from the marketing team at Pepper Content, and this is the sixth session that we have as part of our design marketing stage, which is the second stage. And this is a spotlight session. So it's called Co-Created. It's going to be an inside look at the collaborated creativity with speaker Tarun Katial, who I'll just introduce. So like what is collaborative creativity, right? It can be a very powerful tool and it can be used to solve problems and come up with new ideas. However, it is important to remember that it takes a certain level of trust, communication, and preparation. So what else does it take? Today we'll find out with the founder and CEO of Koto, the Web3 social community platform, Tarun Katial. So just welcoming him on board.
Thank you so much, Tanya. It's a good opportunity to come and speak to some of you folks about uh, creativity, collaboration, and things that we can do together. Um, you know, I've been in the creative business for about more than a couple of decades. Yeah, the gray hair really shows up for that. But I can't remember any one single incident in my life where we made serious success without working together with some bunch of really, really talented people and had the opportunity and the patience to listen to what they were saying. Right from very early on in my life, in about the late 90s when I worked at Ogilvy and then at Star and then at Sony, I understood that if there was one thing to look forward to every single day at work was great people, great minds, and their ability to be able to translate those insights into creativity. But the other thing that I saw with all of those folks, whether it was Piyush Pandey at Ogilvy, whether it was one of my ex bosses, Steve Askew, who ran Star TV in Asia for many years, and then Rupert Murdoch, and my interactions with him, and then at Sony, etc., was that none of them tried to do this on their own, and that was the one quick and easy learning that I kept with me as I moved ahead in my career over the last several decades, right? And so here goes my thoughts on creativity and collaboration. And what I've really done is that I've put together a bunch of really interesting videos that I thought would be worth for everybody to watch, and some amount of good trailers that signify collaboration in creativity in the country and in the world. So here goes, right? What's the best form of collaboration in the world? And this picture is really, close to my heart. It is a mother and a child, and go through a lot of creative collaboration together very early on in a child's life. The entire learning process is a collaborative process, and all of us went through it many times over. And kids and parents who have the patience to collaborate really well with each other turn out to be ones who really enjoy uh, and have fun in creating new stuff. So this is one experience that would be really raw and fresh in everybody's mind. I'm sure there are incidents of where you and your parents collaborated on projects, you and your parents collaborated on paintings, you and your parents collaborated during exams on getting stuff done. And that is really the starting point or the understanding of creative collaboration that gets ingrained very early on in everybody's life. Here's the picture. It's one of those pictures that I'm not very proud of because my expression doesn't say much. But this is the picture of the making of a legendary show that all of us even watch today, together today as families. And people in this picture, besides me, are Amitabh Bachchan, Sameer Nair, Siddharth Basu, Deepak Sehgal. It's a classic example of how collaboration can create a show that can go on for so many years, 2 decades and going. Uh, the collaboration between a quizmaster, Siddharth Basu, a talent like Mr. Bachchan, and we folks at the network who trusted in their capabilities and abilities to pull KBC off and then create what they created was really the epitome of collaboration in the television scene in India. So let me take you through examples of great collaboration in writing, because I know a bunch of you are writers, and I picked an example of what a writer's room really means in Hollywood, and how writers collaborate really well with each other.
A writer's room, meaning if you sit around a table with anywhere from six, depending on if it's a small show, to 13 other men and women, when you'll see the end credits of a TV show, it'll say staff writer, story editor, executive story editor, co-producer, producer, supervising producer, co-executive producer, executive producer. They are all the same job. Occasionally, someone else will be an executive producer because they've worked their way up there and they help to run the room. Every other title is just writer, but what it means is writer that's been here 1 year, writer that's been here 2 years, writer that's been here 3 years, writer that's been in the business, and it's just a pay scale.
Right.
Okay. Every one of them does the same job. A lot of shows you'll go in and the people think that those titles are the hierarchy. So someone will maybe correctly in this show say, I'm the co-executive producer. So when those guys are off editing a show, I'm going to run the room in here and outline stories. And in those environments, the staff writer, the 24-year-old who it's his or her first gig, will sit and be quiet. When the person says, let's hear some jokes, they're standing up. You'll pitch them jokes, or this is the story of the way I think it should be. And Gary came in and just announced right off the bat, I don't care what your title is, whatever makes it the best show is going to be great. And so I just went for it, because I've always been kind of vocal and good at breaking down stories and structure, and very quickly started kind of outlining and putting stories on the board. Didn't really worry about offending anybody because he had created that environment, and I was luckily good enough at it, that I think he saw something in me.
That's an example of a writer's room, right? There's nobody big or small. There's nobody really more senior or more junior. It's about how good ideas come together to be able to build a great TV show, which is a set of characters, a set of jokes, a set of dialogues, a set of moments, an entire screenplay that comes together, an entire dialogue script that comes together, because each one of them really put in an effort. And creativity can't be measured for right or wrong, for big or small, for junior or senior, but it can be measured for ideas that come together and create great concepts, right? So it's a really good quote that I thought most of you should see. Nothing is more valuable than working with a peer or someone whose work you admire. When you come together to discuss each other's work, your business, your clients, your practice, it can really motivate you. And in most of our lives, there are customers or clients that we're dealing with, and the creative collaboration doesn't really lie at a copywriter or a bunch of writers, or an art or a copy person together, or a video or a copy or a art person together, but it also lies with clients, right? The best clients are those who recognize their creative folks as a part of their team. It becomes a partnership versus a strict client relationship. And really encouraging more of this thinking is the most important thing to bring out the best creative partnership. This is really a video that says it all, and I thought that it would be worth watching for a minute about why collaborate at all.
I just really believe in collaboration as an essential way of working. There's always things to be learned from others, and always advances to be made if others can be admitted as part of the creative process.
We all have this common background. We all have this innate interest in trying to do better for each other. We can do that by coming together as a group and learning from each other.
When you know that someone is loving the subject for the same reasons that you are or similar reasons, that's going to feel good.
The more the merrier. The more we work in groups, the more we share this, the more we find platforms to engage other people, to engage the new generation, the more we can use the work to teach.
There's just no way that I can be or anybody can be as effective, as creative, as energetic, make the difference that they want to make on their own.
Everything can begin through collaboration. When you're starting in this industry, you're learning a lot from others. When you've been already around, you're teaching the next generation to come. And through that, trying to share information, you're also learning yourself.
It's about really clear communication, allowing people to do what they do best, get out of the way. Even if you're the director or the producer, find people that know what they're doing, love what they're doing, and then let them do it.
There's an incredible reward that comes from throwing out ideas into a group, being able then to kind of let go of something that you might have thought of and watch somebody else take it in a different direction than you would have taken it, and have that direction be authentic for them, maybe something you never would have thought of or isn't quite how you would have done it. And maybe you're cringing along the way a little bit, but in the end, it turns out to be exactly the right way to go and leads to all kinds of great results.
Not all collaborations are necessarily good collaborations. There might be other factors that actually can be poison to the collaboration. So you really need to be careful to make sure that you know the people you're working with and that everybody has everything on the table out in the open, that we know what we're all doing together and we all know what our roles and interests are, and we don't get co-opted by business. Because in the end, when you're doing a collaboration, it's going to create a product, and that product is going to be distributed, and somebody is going to make some money for that.
The thing that you have to be careful about is really identifying what are the contributions that each member is expected to make, and really setting the bar clearly and transparently so that people really understand what their contribution is going to be and how you're going to judge the standard of their performance. And that, that requires a heart-to-heart conversation, because people have got to be honest with each other if something's not working.
It's hard to explain why some relationships work and some don't. But hopefully, if everybody's on a common mission and a shared vision and their intentions are aligned, I find that it is usually very easy to get a good, smooth working relationship.
We're not constantly checking in on each other. We're not constantly asking. We know the goal. And we know how each other works and how to make it work, and just rolling.
It's endless, to be honest with you. I mean, I think that the collaborations that I've had with the organizations who I partner with just help move things forward for all parties involved. Myself, the people that I photograph, and the stories that I work on. I know what my limitations are as a photographer. The value of collaborating with people is that they help me get the work into the eyes of people that I would never be able to reach myself. I don't think that my work can be directly related to causing a huge amount of change unless it's dovetailed in and partnered with other people who are trying to make change happen.
You're working with individuals who have common interest for a common goal, and you're trying to plan and implement something very important to both of you.
We should each stick with our strengths, and my strength is not writing, so I have to collaborate with a writer. When it comes to fundraising for photography projects, again, that's definitely not my strength.
The very act of fundraising is collaboration. Funders need photographers and videographers and activists to do their work. Many foundations are not organized to actually carry out any campaigns. They're organized to give money away, and they need to give money away to a cause that meets with their mission.
You may not need a creative collaborator, but you need a collaborator in impact. You need a collaborator in distribution. In some ways, the skills that work the best for you as a single creative work against you as you move into collaborating. It's a constant learning process.
Practice. The best sort of result from collaboration is that each of the team members who contributed their piece of it goes away feeling like the project would have not been a success if they hadn't participated.
There's like this huge relief in being able to say, but wait a minute, I don't have to have all the answers. And I think that's where collaboration begins and its great strength. Somebody else has the answers, and and you can find them.
When you can bring photographers together with local community groups, with nonprofit organizations, with foundations, with individual donors, and especially with politicians, then you're going to see some real change begin to happen.
Together with your collaborator, you regard the product of your work with your eyes without speaking, and then probably later with speaking, with touch, claps on the back and hugs. You have this sort of glowing acknowledgement that what you've done together is beautiful and important and true.
A good collaboration, it's love. A feeling that we can take any problem and together we can fix it for our children's children's children. It's hope.
Okay. In our new world, NFTs is one big space that collaborations are really paying off. You've seen what Amitabh Bachchan has been able to do with his NFT collaborations, or what Manish Malhotra has done with some of his old stuff flying around, but now converted into precious NFTs. And physical and digital assets both are now becoming uh, increasingly valuable through NFT collections, right? The other big example in the NFT world is now what brands are collaborating, and how brands are collaborating with artists as well as with users in building our limited edition NFTs. The Adidas example is really path breaking on what they've been able to do, and the entire volume that they've been able to create with their PFP project and the PHP project is really, really cool. The community that they've been able to create with this NFT project, and that is really a big sign of collaboration. I'll go quickly because we're running kind of out of time, but let me move to the next section, which is how do you really make the best of your creative collaboration? Yeah. This is a really good framework. If you're collaborating with somebody and you're kind of clear on which core drive of the human need you're working towards, then it's kind of easier and sharper and better. So you could be collaborating to create content around epic meaning and calling. You could be creating content around helping people with better development and getting them a sense of accomplishment. You could be creating content that is really about empowerment, or about ownership, or about social influence, or about dealing with people's scarcity and impatient need, or about, you know, delivering to people's unpredictability and curiosity needs, or loss and avoidance. This Octalysis framework, go and look this up. It's really a gamification framework, but it is done for creating gamification around various different platforms, and there is a huge amount of creative collaboration that goes into using this framework by brands, by platforms, and most essentially by gamers when they are collaborating with folks in building games. This is really one
We've all
last
had
video.
times when group work failed. People missed deadlines, failed to communicate, and didn't learn from mistakes. But chances are you've also been part of a team when you accomplished something epic together that you could have never done on your own. So what makes this creative collaboration work effectively? Well, here are 7 ideas. Number 1, ownership. Members need to be empowered from the start. Here they can solve problems, generate ideas, and design systems that lead to success. Number 2, dependability. Creative collaboration requires members to hit their deadlines and develop creative endurance. Number 3, trust. When members trust one another, they work interdependently. Here they genuinely listen to one another and assume the best in each other. Over time, they become transparent and even vulnerable. Number 4, structure. The structure should be loose and flexible, but you need to have structure in creative collaboration. It needs to exist. This is why I love design thinking. It's a flexible framework for getting the most out of the entire creative process. Number 5, a shared vision. I'm not referring here to vision statements that you put on a wall or slap on a website. I'm thinking more in terms of a sense of direction. It's a shared desire, a goal that you're aiming for, and a picture of what you will produce. Number 6, fun. The best collaborative groups I've been a part of are the ones where you want to be together. They laugh, they play together, and this can actually boost both convergent and divergent thinking. Number 7, candor. This is one of the big takeaways from Creativity Inc., a book by one of the co-founders of Pixar. It's the idea that groups need to be honest about what's working and what's failing. And this honesty allows you to adjust and iterate and ultimately create something.
So really, creative collaboration requires you to understanding who you're collaborating with and whether you're collaborating with a player or a fan. This concept is really close to my heart, and from very beginning of my career, I look for players rather than fans. There are two ends of the spectrums. Players are people who get onto the ground every single day, whether they have failure or success, and stay focused around their goals, their strategies, their values, and make sure results happen. And fans are guys, who are always living in nostalgia, always live in the past. They have a lot of unproductive questioning. They finally eventually get isolated and they quit the project. So remember, when you're looking out to collaborate with someone, assess for yourself whether you're collaborating with a player or a fan, because things will go bad. They will. That's the reality of life, right? In any project, as you're collaborating, there's going to be some adversity, and you're going to go through times that you don't like. At that moment, it's important to be able to take decisions based on principles and not really the popular thing to do. It's also about making sure that you create positive energy and not toxic energy. And if you all can put your calm heads together, then with adversity comes a lot of opportunity. But the one big important thing that you have to remember among collaborating teams and teams that succeed is that healing can only stop when pride stops, really. If all of us are too proud to admit that we're wrong, or that something needs to be fixed, or that something needs to be done, then it's kind of uh, counterproductive, because humility eventually triumphs pride. It's important in a creative collaboration to stay focused on the goal and on the future, not the past, right? It is also important to have really good standards and pursue excellence and not mediocrity. And that's why, as all of you talk about, the kind of role models or what's happening around you, remember that you've got to keep the right kind of role models as you build your creative product together. Some key principles: surrender your ego, surround yourself with talented people. It's important when you're building teams, collaborative teams, creative teams, then you can surround yourself with good people. Have no insecurity when you're looking for folks. Stay true to what you're looking to do, preserve your culture, because that's extremely important. I know money will be important, I know deadlines will be important, but stay true to what you're trying to create, right? And do not compromise. It's extremely important, right? Remaining faithful to values will be very, very critical when you're onto projects. Serve your partners, and they will give you your best. Unleash your imagination together, and never stop talking about the higher purpose, right? You are in every project because you want to achieve something, and remember that. This is one big principle. Like, our parents could never delegate responsibility. You can't delegate responsibility. You can delegate authority in a project, but you can never delegate responsibility. And so really accepting responsibility to what your part of the project is really, really critical. And the last bit, that no job is unimportant, right? Any organization, any team that sets out to do something creative, they're all interdependent. All of us need each other. And so, like, we heard the guy in the writer's room, don't get rank, don't get position, don't get anything between building great ideas and really succeeding in creative collaboration. So really have fun, build great results. And let me leave you with this one final video, which is one of the best series that I've seen in a long while, which really showcases how great collaboration can create great products.
Listen here, Bob. Paramount is going to come crashing down. We need hits.
You've read The Godfather, right?
Godfather.
Sure. Who hasn't? We've been all over town. No one wants to make this movie. So I need you to produce it. Get going.
I can't believe you told me you read it. You better be fast on the plane.
Oh, yeah. That's big. The Godfather is bringing us too many problems.
You want me to take care of it? Gangster movies are dead. This is not just some gangster film.
We need someone who understands Italians. For instance, Ford Coppola. He's got a great vision. We have to put this in the picture.
A scene about gangsters arguing over sauce?
No. A scene about family arguing over sauce. I got no cast.
Do you think Pacino is actually a possibility?
Cut it! No Pacino. Marlon Brando is interested.
He's a nutcase.
Can one thing go right with this picture?
You want to make a movie that's going to make my people look like animals, and that ain't going to happen.
I respect what you're saying, and I think I have a solution to our problem.
You're still gonna try and make this thing?
I got no choice.
I took a chance on you, and you stabbed me in the back.
I won't judge you if you need to walk away from this.
I'm not running either.
This is what it's all about. The excitement. The thrill. That's movie magic, baby.
So that really brings me to my last slide. All the best in team lancing and making sure that you create more godfathers around you. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Okay, thanks for that, Tarun. I think you were able to power pack your session with all the experience that you have being the CEO of Reliance Broadcast Network. I don't know if many of you, the audience, is because we first introduced him as the founder of Koto, but it's great that you have an initiative like this. I'm just going to take a minute to appreciate everything that you did in this session, but apart from that, just you in general, because the crypto community platform for women that you have been able to build is just such a fantastic idea. I really support it. And yeah, I mean, I don't know people in our, as I was saying, audiences know or not, but Tarun is a veteran media person in the industry. He's been the CEO of Reliance Broadcast Network, as I said, and also Zee5, and I believe you founded and you were the CEO of Big FM. So, I mean, all of those years of experience and entrepreneurial knowledge, thank you for sharing it with us. And it was a great session. Our audiences are also saying that they've absolutely loved it.
So thank you so much, and all the best. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Tarun. Thank you. Have a great rest of the day.